We have had communication from the Wayne County Commissioners, and we have each met with, in fact, I met with them with a commissioner once. Then we toured their facility last Friday, and I think Ms. Berman has had contact with them prior to you and Joel and some others met with them, and maybe Representative Amstaff was here.
He was present for one of the meetings, yes.
And the information that I have, the latest communication is that not basically, factually, the Wayne County Commissioners are not in agreement with the direction that we're going. They are not in agreement with the makeup of the board of directors for the COG, and they have not said what their expectations might be if they were to join the COG. I don't think they've quantified that in any manner. They have taken another view on the cost allocation, and I don't know what they base that on. I don't have a foundation for what they base their objection to, because we have only discussed it. Today is the first time we've taken any formal action on a cost allocation. And I certainly open it up to the rest of your thoughts on this.
I would agree with your comments there, Mayor, about we're still having conversations with the commissioners. We have extended formally at least 3 times, at least 2 of those in writing, to join the COG. And so we hope they will. I mean, it would be best for all of us financially to do that. Looking back, as I say, I was putting all my notes together because it was getting too hard to travel in a folder. January 6th of 2010 are the first written notes that I had come across in all of my packets. We started this process, and we have worked extremely hard through this. We went for a grant from the Efficient Gov Now Fund back in March of 2010. We have gone for other grants that are still in limbo at this point in time. We visited, I've gone and been in 5 different dispatching centers. I know you've gone to a number of those also. We've seen different models and plans, and I believe that we can make a very good dispatching center, and one that we can be very proud of with our communities. And that's what it comes right down to, is we want to have a dispatching facility that we all share in the conversations about, share in the idea of how they're operated, how they are funded, and the quality of service that they provide for our communities. And that is a key point. The county was a part of all those discussions since January 6th when we started this. The first time I see in all the notes that I have that we had to start thinking differently is on October 2nd of 2012. So for the first essentially 3 years, the 3 entities were working together to try to make the thing happen. On October 2nd of 2012, see, Rob Eiler, who was Worcester's fire chief and a member of this group, had sent a email to Dyla Shemek from Cleveland State University and asked her if she could come up with estimates for a dispatch center for just the cities of Wooster and Ashland. And Dyla sent back her recap of that on August 2nd. So that is the point where it's kept in at least my notes that we were thinking that we needed to push on. And after 3 years, I think we were realizing there was a difference between the way we were perceiving this center moving forward and what the county perceives it to move forward. So we've kept moving, and here it is, October 7th of 2014. So essentially 2 years after this was put together. And we are finally moving forward. I found in my notes that on November of last year was our first Wooster Ashland Regional Council of Government meeting, where we had actually put the group in play, and November 18th of 2013. We're about a year into it. We've been doing this for almost 5 years. It's time that we get something accomplished. And if the county wants to be a part of it, we surely encourage them to do so. In fact, if anybody else in the Ashland area or the Wayne County area or in surrounding areas want to be a part of this, please talk to us. We would love to have them be so. But from the city of Worcester's perspective, and I believe from your city, Mayor, from all of our conversations, I'm ready to keep this ball moving forward.
I agree with you. I'm going to go back and kind of recap a couple of things. We too sent an invitation to the sheriff and Ashland County managers at this, the dispatch center. The county commissioners are the funding agent for the sheriff, and I don't have I have notes also, but I do not have them articulated as Mayor Benjamin does. I had a discussion with our county commissioners probably 2 to 2.5 years ago, and asking them, maybe even 3 years ago, would they consider being a part of the COG that was to be formed, had not been formed yet at that time. And the response was that they're basically a funding agent for the sheriff's department, and the sheriff is the controlling or the control of the dispatch operation, 911 as well as dispatch. More recently, there's been some inquiry into about where we're at on the COG from the commissioners, but nothing that would indicate that there's any movement, from my view, of coming forward and becoming a part of. We're still focusing on cost and quality. And I feel, and I think we feel, that the management of a COG or of a dispatch center that is there in our formation right now, there's 2 elected officials, and the balance are appointed officials of our 2 cities. And that takes a lot of the politics out of operating a dispatch system, in my opinion. And our goal is to move away from any issues that we have and start with a clean sheet of paper. As far as employees go, we will invite those who choose to or would like to apply. They can apply and be considered based on their resume and how the committee that reviews applications go. We want to have we want to have state-of-the-art equipment, and that's the only way to start a new entity. And we would like to be in a facility that is void of any past practices. Maybe I've said too much, but that's where we're at. That's where I feel we're at.
I don't think that's a whole lot different, if any different, than what the CSU study said. I was just looking at it again, and part of what they did was look at other centers and look at the governance structure. And most of them are set up with multiple people on a board that are not elected officials. So that's not uncommon, it's actually more common to be that way.
Yeah, we are following the CSU study that was generated for us back in November of 2011.
And it needs to be said that Wayne County, Wooster City, and Ashland City were the funding agents for that study. So that study is not it's not foreign to anyone who's interested in this process.
And you said it exactly. There were two tenets that all of us believed in moving towards a dispatching center. One is quality of service. That has to be foremost for us. And the cost. We are looking to operate at the same or a lesser cost, and more people that would join over time. And it's going to take people watching for a little bit before they think it's time to maybe join us as a center. They want to make sure that we are up and running and are doing what we said we're going to do. So we may not have a lot on board at the initial sailing of the ship, but I believe within a year or two that we will start seeing people joining on and being a part of it.
Well, there have been letters of interest, not commitment, letters of interest.
Absolutely.
And that's very important.
I would just like to point out also, in the study, it did mention that as systems migrate to more digital and to next generation technology, that Worcester's existing dispatch equipment would have to be upgraded for those new standards. And that's part of the reason we got such a high score on our grant, our LGIF grant, was because we were doing just that. We were putting in the equipment that was next generation, complying with those standards.
There are other board members here. If you have something you'd like to share, please do.
I could have swore I turned that off. Just want to make it interesting. I think, I don't want to repeat what you all have said, but I think you're right. It's quality of service, it's having some control or a voice over how things are done. It's my 2 cents. Chief?
For me, it's quality of service driven. I reflect on a letter written by the former chief to the sheriff concerning problems with dispatch in 2005, and it closed with a statement paraphrasing that we owe the men and women who protect our community better than what we're giving them, and that was in 2005. And that level of service is not improved. And that's my 2 cents.
I agree. I think the mayor has stated it well. We need to start from basically ground zero where we are and build this and let a third-party entity run it. But we are by no means looking to get into the dispatch business whatsoever. Quite frankly, it'd be nice if we didn't have to worry about it. And we had a good product and a financially feasible product.
Anybody else make any comments? I may have neglected that the opportunity or the invitation to the Ashland County Sheriff was also made to join our COG, and he responded in writing, as did the commissioners, that they were not interested. He was not interested in joining. He has a good operation, and we continue with it. So, from Ashland City's point of view, we have been invited through the commissioners and directly to the sheriff an opportunity to join. And it has been professionally declined. So with that, I think our membership is established at 2 entities right now. And our performance, early on performance, or even our professionalism of a startup will certainly influence others who may want to join us in the not too distant future. That's all to be seen. It's not here yet. Is there any other discussion anyone would like to contribute towards our membership? Golly. There are others. The 5 attorneys that are here, do they have any comments?
Uh-oh, we might be here a while down there.
You opened Pandora's box down, haven't
You
you?
provide some very concise comments.
Thanks for the opportunity, I'll pass. You guys are beating up on me.
Oh, come on.
Good afternoon.
How are you this afternoon?
Good to be back.
Welcome.
Civilian clothes. But familiar haircuts at the table. The grant score was based on the fact that this effort is leading tip of the spear to next generation communication and integration with the state, county, and FEMA Region 5 response framework. This template garnered that attention based on that integration. And the fact that the score was high was a reflection of the fact that we have a structure that's flexible, that allows for partners to join at any time during the process as the parties so determine, meets the need of the community. So this is unique in that aspect where it's a living document, it's a living organization. It's not set in stone and it can be modified. Having said that, the aspect of the score that we did particularly well on was based on our functionality and our scope of service and the ability to close gaps. The score was also based on the fact that there were 2 stakeholders leading that process. The score, as high as it was, 69 out of 80, was not based on 3 players, it was based on 2. A point that I intend to help drive home in the ensuing time period as we go into the grant distribution and future phases.
It's been an awesome process. It's been an eye-opening process. And it's a process that I firmly believe that the city of Ashland and the city of Wooster are joined together in making this thing move forward and come to life. And I can say that our city council is aware of the process. I keep them updated. And to date, there's been no inkling of wavering on that. They're obviously very conscious of costs. And I think our latest update on that is pretty positive. And they will get copies of this in the very near future. Are there any other issues that we need to bring forth? I'm down in that miscellaneous area.